There's something different about you, and you've always known it. You never quite fit in, not fully. Even in rooms filled with people, something about your spirit never settled. It's not because you were broken, weak, or less than. It's because you were marked, and not just marked. Chosen. Chosen women are not loud about their anointing, but they carry a fire that burns through silence. Their strength doesn't need applause to be real. It's stitched into their soul, born in the furnace of pain, disappointment, and long nights where tears spoke louder than words. Let me tell you something real. God hides his best in the wilderness. If you've ever felt hidden, forgotten, overlooked, you're right where you're supposed to be. Chosen women aren't always celebrated first. They're cultivated, set apart for a season, processed through storms that would have crushed someone else. You see, the chosen don't just survive battles, they attract them. Because the enemy doesn't attack what isn't a threat. So if all hell has ever broken loose against your peace, your family, your mind, it's because heaven placed something inside of you that hell can't stand. And still, you kept going. You carried burdens and smiled anyway. You held your tongue when you could have cursed. You stayed kind when bitterness felt easier. That's not weakness. That's warrior grace. The kind only the chosen carry. Chosen women see with eyes that cut through surface. Their discernment don't come from books. It comes from broken places God rebuilt. They can sense betrayal before it speaks. They know when a season is over, even if it still looks alive. That kind of wisdom, heaven sent. And here's what's wild. They don't even always know how powerful they are. They question themselves, doubt their voice, wonder if they're enough. But even in all of that, they still show up, still pray, still give, still believe, because deep down, they know this is not the end of their story. Sis, if this word feels like it's speaking directly to you, it's because it is. You've got hidden marks, 7 invisible signs of a chosen soul. You've been pressed, but not crushed. Shaken, but not shattered. Tested, but not taken out. That means something. Walk with your head high. Not in pride, but in purpose. You were never ordinary, never random. You were formed with intention, shaped through fire. And your time, it's coming. Because only the chosen women carry these hidden marks. Chosen women carry a strength that doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't scream in rooms to be heard. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't parade its power. It simply exists, rooted deeply in their soul, forged in fire, and proven in silence. Their strength isn't the kind that always roars. It's the kind that whispers, keep going, even while tears fall. It's the kind that holds everything together when everything is falling apart. It's the kind that chooses to love when it would be easier to walk away. The kind that forgives not because it was deserved, but because their peace is too precious to lose. They have cried in rooms where no one knew they were breaking. They have prayed in bathrooms and closets because their heart was too heavy to carry in public. They've walked into boardrooms, family dinners, and church pews with a straight face and a shattered soul. Yet no one saw the crack because they've mastered the art of carrying strength in silence. Their voice may tremble when they speak their truth, but it doesn't mean they're weak. Don't mistake emotion for fragility. Don't confuse quiet for surrender. Sometimes their silence is louder than a scream. Sometimes their stillness is more powerful than 1,000 movements. See, strength for a chosen woman isn't about being loud. It's about being steady. It's not about having the perfect words. It's about standing tall even when your knees are buckling under pressure. It's choosing to show up again and again even when your spirit is tired and your heart is uncertain. Sometimes she's in a battle no one sees. Sometimes she's fighting for her family, her future, her faith, all while making it look easy. That's the strength the world can't measure. That's the kind of strength that doesn't come from the gym. It comes from God. You want to know who's truly strong? It's the woman who held her peace when she could have snapped. It's the woman who stayed when it hurt and left when it was hardest. It's the woman who kept believing even when the blessing was delayed. It's the woman who kept her head high even after being betrayed. That kind of strength, that's silent courage. That's divine resilience. Her voice may shake, her hands may tremble, her soul may even feel tired, but that calling on her life, that's not going anywhere. Because she is chosen, because her strength is sacred, because even in her silence, heaven is listening and hell is trembling. Chosen women are no strangers to isolation. In fact, it's a season they've often walked through, sometimes without even realizing its purpose. There's something about their calling that requires distance. The higher the calling, the quieter the path. The more God has placed in them, the more they have to be set apart to be refined. It's not that they're not wanted, it's that they've been called to something so unique, so specific, that only in solitude can they truly hear the voice of destiny. They've felt the sting of loneliness. Whether physically alone or emotionally detached from those they thought would be there, they've been misunderstood, rejected, and sometimes left behind. They've watched friendships fade, connections weaken, and love slip through their fingers like sand. In those moments, they questioned their worth, their place, their future. But they also discovered something profound in the depths of that isolation. They were never truly alone. Isolation has a way of stripping away the noise. It removes the distractions that keep them from hearing their calling clearly. In the quiet, they begin to understand their own voice, their own power. They learn that while the world may not understand them, God always has a purpose for their waiting. Chosen women are familiar with the quiet of night when no one is around to cheer them on. They've learned to celebrate themselves in the silence. Their victories aren't always announced on stages or shared in public, but they are real. Their quiet moments of reflection, prayer, and self-motivation have built their strength. They've learned to dig deep when there's no applause, no validation, no reassurance from the outside world. They've come to realize that the isolation is not a punishment, it's a process. They have often been misunderstood, labeled as too much or too quiet. They've been criticized for not fitting into the molds others wanted to place them in. But what people didn't realize was that they were being prepared. While others were out in the noise trying to prove themselves, the chosen ones were hidden, being molded and shaped into their divine assignments. Isolation doesn't break them, it builds them. It forces them to find comfort in their own skin, peace in their own presence, and strength in their own faith. It's in those alone moments that they discover the depth of their resilience. They are not afraid of being alone because they have learned that alone time is God's time for transformation. In those seasons of isolation, they learn the power of trusting God when no one else seems to understand. They learn that even in their solitude, they are never forsaken. Their solitude becomes their sanctuary, a place where they meet their truest selves and connect deeply with the divine. They've learned to see isolation not as rejection, but as elevation. The deeper they go into isolation, the higher they rise in purpose. They are not being forgotten, they are being groomed. Just as a diamond must go through a refining process before it shines, so too must a chosen woman undergo seasons of seclusion to step into the fullness of her destiny. Isolation isn't just a space of emptiness, it's the place of preparation. It's the soil where their roots grow deep, where their spirit gets fortified, and where their clarity gets sharpened. And as the seasons shift, they will look back on those moments of loneliness and see them for what they truly were. The times when God was close enough to touch, yet far enough to grow them into who they were meant to be. If you find yourself in a season of isolation, take heart, dear one. You are not abandoned, you are not alone. You are being shaped for something greater than you can yet see. And though the world may not understand your quiet, your solitude, your separation, they will one day see the strength, wisdom, and purpose that was born in those silent, lonely hours. Chosen women know what it's like to have their hearts broken over and over again. They've loved deeply and been hurt profoundly. They've trusted with their whole souls, only to find that trust betrayed. They've given everything they had, sometimes to the wrong people or the wrong situations, and had it taken, ignored, or left unappreciated. They've suffered loss in ways that words can't quite capture, and yet their hearts never become bitter. The world can break their hearts, but it cannot break their spirit. A chosen woman's heart may bleed, it may ache, and it may cry out in pain, but there's something inside of her that refuses to let bitterness settle in. She refuses to let the wounds of the past define her future. She may have been crushed, but she's never been defeated. Each time life knocks her down, she picks herself up with grace and strength that can only be explained by the grace of God. There's a quiet resilience within the chosen. They have the capacity to forgive when the pain is still fresh, to let go when holding on feels like their only option. They don't carry grudges, even when they have every right to. They don't allow the pain to fester into unforgiveness because they know holding on to bitterness only keeps them bound. It may feel good for a moment to blame, to hurt back, to lash out in anger, but they know deep down that peace only comes when they release. Their hearts break, but instead of allowing that pain to harden them, it softens them. Instead of building walls to protect themselves, they build bridges. Bridges of compassion, understanding, and empathy. They don't let the scars make them suspicious of love. They let the scars make them more loving. The way they love others is shaped by the depth of their own pain. They are not afraid to love again. even after their hearts have been shattered. It takes a special kind of strength to keep your heart soft in a world that can harden you. But chosen women have that strength. They know that forgiveness isn't about letting the other person off the hook. It's about freeing themselves from the chains of resentment. They know that bitterness will only poison their soul, steal their joy, and rob them of their peace. So they choose to forgive, not because the person deserves it, but because their soul needs it. And forgiveness is not an easy thing to do, especially when you've been hurt by those you loved or trusted. But chosen women understand the power of letting go. They understand that forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it transforms their future. By choosing not to be bitter, they release the weight of the past, allowing their hearts to heal and their spirits to rise. The pain doesn't define them. Their healing does. And their healing doesn't come from holding on to what happened, but from walking forward with the knowledge that they are enough, regardless of what others have done to them. The chosen woman's heart may be broken, but it never stops beating in hope. She believes deep down that no amount of hurt can take away her purpose. No amount of betrayal can steal her joy. No amount of rejection can rob her of her worth. Her worth is determined by something far greater than the actions of others. It's determined by the love of a God who sees her heart and calls it precious. As a result, chosen women become vessels of love in a broken world. They pour out kindness to others even when their own cup feels empty. They reach out to those who need comfort even when they are the ones who are aching. Their hearts are tender because they know what it's like to be wounded, and they never want anyone else to feel that same loneliness. Their capacity for compassion is endless because it has been shaped in the fires of their own pain. Their hearts break, but they don't break beyond repair. They are resilient, they are strong, and they are full of grace. The cracks in their hearts may show, but rather than weakness, those cracks are a testament to the depth of their ability to love. Each broken piece has been mended with forgiveness, hope, and faith. A chosen woman doesn't carry bitterness, she carries healing. She carries the ability to love again, to forgive again, to trust again. And each time she does, her heart becomes even stronger, more expansive, more beautiful. It's through the brokenness that her heart is made whole again. She becomes a living example of the truth that you can be broken but still beautiful, hurt but still whole, betrayed but still loving. They attract battles because they carry purpose. Chosen women seem to carry an invisible weight, one that others may not see at first glance, but can feel the moment they step into the room. It's not a burden in the typical sense. It's something much deeper. It's purpose. And purpose, when it is big, divine, and undeniable, comes with its own set of challenges. It draws attention. It attracts the enemy. It stirs up resistance. It stirs up opposition. The greater the purpose, the greater the battle. When you carry purpose, you become a target. It's not always a pleasant thing, but it's the reality that those called for greatness must understand. Chosen women may wonder why they seem to face challenges that others don't. Why do things feel harder for them? Why do obstacles appear that seem insurmountable? Why do they experience hardship and resistance even when they've done nothing to deserve it? The answer is simple yet profound. They carry purpose. Purpose is magnetic. It's a force that attracts both the forces of good and the forces of evil. The more you are aligned with your purpose, the more it threatens everything that does not serve that purpose. The enemy doesn't want you to fulfill your calling, and so it will throw everything at you: distractions, opposition, struggles, heartbreaks, betrayals, all in an attempt to wear you down. But purpose is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. It's not meant to be carried lightly. The weight of purpose requires resilience, courage, and an unwavering faith in what lies ahead. It's why chosen women are often thrust into situations that demand more of them than they ever thought possible. It's why they have to rise through adversity, stand firm in the face of opposition, and keep moving forward even when the battle feels endless. They don't just face challenges for no reason. They face them because they are destined for something great. Purpose can never be fulfilled without encountering obstacles. The process of stepping into destiny is always messy, uncomfortable, and often painful. But every battle they fight, every mountain they climb, every storm they endure is an essential part of their preparation. The battle doesn't break them, it shapes them. While others may run from adversity, the chosen ones walk straight into it, not because they enjoy the struggle, but because they understand that the fight is a part of their growth. The fight is where they build their faith, their strength, and their character. The challenges are what refine them, purify them, and prepare them to carry the weight of the calling on their life. The battles don't define them. Their response to those battles does. And this is where the strength of a chosen woman becomes evident. She rises up when others fall down. She doesn't shy away from challenges. She faces them head on, knowing that every battle she wins brings her closer to her purpose. Her battles are not an indication of weakness. They are proof of her strength and tenacity. She has learned how to stand firm when the storm rages around her, and through it all, she finds herself becoming stronger, more grounded, and more aware of the power that resides within her. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every disappointment is a preparation for a divine appointment. And though the road may be difficult, the destination is always worth the fight. The battles chosen women face are not just random. They are part of the divine orchestration of their lives. Each one is preparing them for the future they are destined to walk into. Sometimes they face battles within themselves. Doubts creep in, insecurities rise up, and fears attempt to cripple their progress. But even in those moments, they carry purpose. And purpose is greater than the fear. Purpose is greater than the doubt. Purpose is greater than the battle. It is what keeps them going when their body and soul feel like they can't take another step. It is the fire that keeps them moving forward, even when they can't see the way ahead. And this is the paradox of purpose. It will attract the battles, but it will also give you the strength to overcome them. The very reason they are facing opposition is the very reason they were called to endure. The strength to overcome is already within them, and every challenge is only uncovering more of that strength. They attract battles because they carry purpose, and while it may be hard, they also attract victory. The battles, though fierce, never have the final word. Purpose always wins. Their discernment is divine. It's not taught, it's given. Chosen women possess a unique gift that sets them apart from the world around them. A gift of discernment. It's not the kind of discernment that can be learned from books or perfected through experience alone. It's divine. It is a supernatural ability to perceive, to see beyond what is visible to the natural eye, and to understand things that others may not even be aware of. It is given, not earned. This divine discernment is not a product of education or training. It's not something that can be acquired by following a set of steps or taking a course. It is a gift that comes straight from the heart of God, woven into the fabric of a chosen woman's soul. She may not always understand it, but she knows it when she feels it. It's that still, quiet knowing deep inside her that warns her when something is off, that guides her when the path is unclear, and that illuminates the truth even when lies are being spoken. It's a knowing that cannot be explained by logic or reason. It doesn't matter how persuasive the words of others are or how convincing the arguments may sound. If something doesn't sit right with a chosen woman, she trusts her divine discernment. She listens to that still voice, that inner conviction which guides her beyond the surface and into the heart of the matter. This divine gift of discernment allows her to see into situations, people, and circumstances with clarity that others may not have. While the world may be clouded by confusion, deception, or the desire for approval, the chosen woman sees through all of that. She sees the truth. She feels the energy in a room. She understands the unspoken. It's as if her spirit has been finely tuned to pick up on things that are invisible to others. She knows when someone is genuine and when they are pretending. She senses when a situation is good for her and when it is dangerous, even when the external signs do not show it. This discernment protects her. It guards her heart, her decisions, and her relationships. While others may be led astray by false promises or misguided intentions, the chosen woman can sense when she's being misled. She doesn't always need the facts or evidence. Her spirit tells her when things are off balance, and because she listens to that divine guidance, she avoids unnecessary harm and confusion. Her discernment keeps her in alignment with her purpose. However, this divine discernment does not only warn her of danger, it also leads her toward divine opportunities. It's like a compass pointing her in the direction of her destiny. When the world around her seems unclear and when others are lost in doubt and uncertainty, the chosen woman knows the path she must take. She doesn't need the whole map. She only needs that small, quiet voice that whispers the next step. This gift of discernment also extends to her ability to see the potential in others, even when they don't see it in themselves. She sees the strengths and abilities in people that others overlook or disregard. It's a supernatural insight into the hearts of others, which enables her to offer guidance, encouragement, and support when needed. She can sense who needs a kind word, who needs a listening ear, and who needs a firm push to realize their true worth. She is not only attuned to her own needs, but also deeply sensitive to the needs of those around her. But discernment isn't just about knowing what's right or wrong. It's also about understanding timing. The chosen woman can sense when it's the right moment to act, when it's the right time to speak, and when silence is the right response. She knows when to step forward in confidence and when to step back in hate. Her discernment is like an inner clock that keeps her in rhythm with her purpose. While others rush to act or react impulsively, the chosen woman remains calm, knowing that everything will unfold in divine timing. There's an intuitive understanding in her that the world can't teach, but she relies on it heavily. She doesn't have to see the whole picture to trust in the process. Her discernment helps her trust God's plan even when she can't see the way to him. It gives her the patience to wait, the courage to make bold moves, and the peace to let go when necessary. Divine discernment doesn't always make her popular, but it does make her wise. It's a gift that can often isolate her because others may not understand how she knows what she knows. They may doubt her instincts or try to persuade her to follow the crowd. But she stays true to herself, knowing that she is tuned in to something much deeper than the opinions of others. She is led by the divine, not by the loud noise of the world. And in her obedience to this divine discernment, she finds herself continually aligned with the purpose that is unfolding in her life. Her decisions are guided by a wisdom beyond her years. Her steps are directed by the one who knows the end from the beginning. Chosen women understand that discernment is not just a gift, it's a responsibility. They don't take it lightly. They know that when they listen to their inner voice, they are walking in alignment with a higher purpose. They understand that with great discernment comes great responsibility to themselves, to others, and to the world. They use this gift not for selfish gain, but to lead others in truth, protect their peace, and fulfill their divine purpose. They rise again and again and again because their assignment isn't finished. There is a relentless tenacity that exists in chosen women. No matter how many times they fall, they get up. No matter how many setbacks they face, they keep moving forward. It's not just determination. It's a deep understanding that their assignment, what they were put on this earth to do, isn't finished. And as long as there's breath in their lungs, they will continue to rise. It's in their DNA, an inherent part of their spirit that refuses to let them remain down for long. Life may knock them down, and sometimes it may feel like the weight of the world is too much to bear. But no matter the wounds they carry, no matter the struggles they endure, they rise. When the storms hit, when the betrayals come, when the failures pile up, they don't stay down for long. They may pause, they may grieve, and they may heal, but ultimately they rise. It's not always easy. It's not always a graceful ascent. Sometimes they have to crawl. Sometimes they have to push through with a broken heart and a weary soul, but still they rise. It's like the force of the universe itself has programmed them to always get back up. Their spirit is unshakable. They may be bent, but they are never broken for long. The world may try to tell them that their time is over, that their dreams are no longer attainable, that their best days are behind them, but chosen women know better. They know that their assignment isn't finished. They know that even when everything seems to fall apart, there is still more for them to do. They have a calling that cannot be erased by circumstances, by time, or by opposition. The task they were sent to fulfill has not been completed, and as long as there is purpose left in their life, they will rise again. It's in their blood, it's in their bone. There's an unwavering knowing that there is still more to come. No defeat is final, no challenge is permanent. Every rise is a testament to the fact that their mission is ongoing. Even when it seems like they have nothing left to give, they find a way. They draw from a well that others cannot see, tapping into a divine source of strength that is beyond human comprehension. It is not by their might nor by their power, but by something far greater. That strength is what keeps them rising, keeps them moving, keeps them pressing on. The road is often long, the journey treacherous, and the opposition fierce. But they rise again and again because they have been entrusted with something far too important to quit. Their assignment, their calling demands that they continue despite the odds, despite the doubts, and despite the challenges that seek to weigh them down. And each time they rise, they become more resilient, more powerful, more aligned with the very essence of their purpose. Each rise takes them one step closer to the fulfillment of their assignment, no matter how many times it feels like the end. They have learned that rising is part of the process, and it's through rising again that they find themselves stepping into their destiny. The rising isn't just physical, it's spiritual, emotional, and mental. Each time they rise, they grow stronger in their faith, more aware of their strength, and more convinced of the purpose they are here to fulfill. It's as though with every fall, they shed the old version of themselves. And with each rise, they become closer to the person they were meant to be. In the eyes of others, they may appear to be down, defeated, even broken, but in reality, the chosen woman is simply gathering the strength she needs to rise once more because she knows that she hasn't completed her assignment yet. As we reflect on the journey of the chosen woman, it becomes abundantly clear she is a force that refuses to be diminished. Time and time again, she rises, not because the world expects it, but because her purpose demands it. Her strength is silent yet unyielding. Her heart breaks but never grows bitter. Her battles are many, but she carries them with grace. Her discernment is divine, and she trusts it even when the path is unclear. In the face of adversity, the chosen woman doesn't crumble. She stands firm, rooted in the truth of who she is and what she has been called to do. Her assignment is not finished, and until it is, she will rise again and again and again. Let this commitment throw you to your knees.